Okay, folks, thank you for joining what I hope will be a very helpful and ongoing series of training. Not to say that you don't already get a lot of training available to you. And quite frankly, I think that some of this can be overwhelming when you get started with so much training. And I think it's like, well, where do I get started? Where do I get started? So that's where I put together a little PowerPoint here, and I like communicating with PowerPoints too, in that it's visual and it kind of helps to focus your message better visually. So I did put together something here with that theme, and let's see how far we get here, and then just let it process. And if you have questions, definitely we have time here to keep it all. Get your questions answered. And let's see here. Do I need to? Okay. With that said, let's talk about really some of the best practices and keys to success in general. I'm just talking really big picture here. And I'm going to just continue to focus on this message as I try to mentor you, because you got a lot of training. I'm going to try to mentor you, though. That's really what I'm here to try to do. And my methodologies have been successful. Since joining HST March of 2018, I've consistently, from like day one, been in the top 3-4% of producers in the country. So, I mean, I hope with that said, I'm going to try to establish some credibility with you in that what I'm doing works. And I'm making a lot of money helping people. I'm making more money I ever imagined I could make. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm not screwing people. I'm helping them. And I'm doing it in a way where I keep it simple. Again, on the screen, I keep it simple. I stay focused. Focus, focus, focus. In that there's a term, you ever heard, a shiny object syndrome. It's kind of the opposite of this. A shiny object is like you go to pick up a shiny object and it gets your attention, but it also gets you unfocused. So try to stay away from the shiny objects and stay focused and create a winning process. Repeat it and grow and stay consistent, because really, folks, consistency is the key. At least with me, it's been. I've never had a week since I started with HST that I haven't produced. And in fact, my average weekly submittal, is about 36,000 a week since I joined. And I have a spreadsheet, and I track every week. And I've got my little like 4-week average, 8-week average. I've got a lot of stuff in my spreadsheet, but over the last 3 years, as I built on it, it's pretty cool. But consistency is really the key in my way of doing it. I'm not saying that's how you have to do it. Nothing I'm saying here is how you have to do things, because one of the beauties of this business is that you are an independent broker, advisor. But you have access to tremendous resources. But it's your business. And I mean, if you want to go out and, go to a restaurant or go with your family somewhere or make a trip, you can take your work with you. I mean, like last night, I wrote a policy last night at 9:15 at night. In fact, I wrote 2 of them. It was a lady. It was great. I've got to know her, but she finally was able to call me, and it was like 9:15 at night. Boy, it made my day. But I'm always available, and you really have the ability, though, to live your life the way you want it. And that's where you want this all to come together. And I was never self-employed before I kind of got kicked out of the corporate world in 2014, when I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with my life. I was in a down spot back in 2014 in my career. I really thought I was unemployable. I did. And I was pretty despondent. And so I'm sure we can all relate to that. So I never imagined that I would be able to achieve what I've achieved over the last 3 years. But I'm doing it, though, with like my way. And I'm my own boss. So I wish I was this way 20 years ago. But anyway, that's what it's about. It's about being consistent. So here's some basics right here. And even like to you, Carla, who you're about to take your test, So this is really kind of, get started. Here, number one, I want you guys to be empowered. And what I mean by empowered are really these next two screens. Number one, okay, I figure you're getting your test, you're on board, and then you're going through the contracting process with HST, okay? And you got broker box and that conduit to kind of go back and forth between the tasks basically that you have with broker box, the electronic signatures on it. And make sure that when you complete a task, you mark it as complete. And just kind of, make sure you're doing it, but you don't have to get contracted with everybody. So right here are the carriers that I want you to get contracted with. Again, keep it simple, keep it focused. Okay, and really in this order too, but there's no reason you can't get all 5 done, at the same time. But those 5 being National General, United Healthcare, Emeritus, AOBG, American Online Benefits Group, and Mutual of Omaha. Let me just kind of go into a little bit of detail on these. National General's our parent company. They're great. They give us great resources. Learn about National General, number one, because they're a big part of your life now and soon to be Allstate. But they're a big company. 4.6 billion in revenue, publicly traded, A- Moody's rating, formerly part of General Motors Acceptance Corporation. Started in 1937. You need that, kind of have that, some of the basic facts there, because you're going to talk to people about it to establish credibility. But again, you're going to get focused with National General and primarily with National General, NatGen. I focus when you see STM, short-term medical plans. And we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. The ancillary plans, accident, critical illness, the plan enhancers. You use them to fill the gap of the deductible max out of pocket on a short-term medical plan. And like when I present a short-term medical plan to people, again, you gotta explain it so it's easy to understand. And I explain to people, I'm putting together a plan for you that's going to cover you 100% for critical illnesses up to $1 million. That's how I explain a short-term medical plan. Okay, in kind of big picture. But with NatGen, they're typically less expensive than the short-term medical plans with United Healthcare. There's some pros and cons. United Healthcare standard short-term medical plan goes up to $2 million of max benefit versus NatGen, which is $1 million on the enhanced. They do have a copay enhanced that goes up to $5 million, which I don't recommend you sell, but you can as you'll learn the products more. But again, you're going to get contracted with National General, focus on primarily their short-term medical. When you see ancillary, those are your kind of your plan enhancers, trio meds, and accident coverage. They kind of help fill the gap. They help to mitigate the out-of-pocket expense of larger type claims that would initially go towards a deductible and a max out-of-pocket of a plan. And you'll learn how to, and we will, I'll show you how to craft these together and make it, again, balance of coverage, protection, and budget. But again, we're talking contracting here. United Healthcare. United Healthcare, you'll get contracted. They take a little longer to get it back. But again, it's really, they will. It's just a little longer, a little bigger company. And with that product, I focus initially primarily on what's called limited medical. Okay, that's the category it falls under. A limited medical plan, also known as indemnity. So, put it in your Google search, indemnity. That's what these are. Also known as limited medical, fixed benefit, zero deductible. That's how I really kind of preface it initially. These are zero deductible, fixed benefit plans that offer first dollar coverage. Okay, that's how I explain it. But again, a great kind of conduit to where you've got plans that are short-term medical that are going to be weighted more for the protection side of health insurance, but then limited medical that are going to be focused more on the coverage or day-to-day needs of people. You can kind of say that. Your day-to-day needs, your office visits, your wellness visit, your lab work, that's what we think about day to day versus protection. If God forbid you had a huge claim, you started getting, $750,000 of medical bills coming. What are you going to do then, Mr. Prospect? I mean, we don't want those things to happen to you, but if they do, how well are you protected? So again, I'll talk about presentation here a little bit, but again, just, you got to explain it to people, and I'll talk about presentation here in a little bit. But again, contracting, also emeritus for dental and vision. They got some great dental and vision plans, real simple. You can price them based on individual plus one, and individual and family. Really well priced, simple, and they have different plans that are great. You can add vision through the iMed or another network they have, but really popular, really great add-on for dental and vision, very popular among HST. And then you'll have AOBG, American Online Benefits Group. Not the first one you want to have, but it's a Wellness 360 plan. And I would recommend you get contracted with that. You'll have the option of doing it through HST or CHC, Compass Health. But I recommend you do everything through HST, excuse me. And no disrespect at all to CHC, but you want to get towards your partnership. And the more you can put under HST, the quicker you're going to get towards your partnership. And that should be a goal for you. And so you put that under the HST umbrella. But that plan isn't something you'll sell a lot of, in my opinion. But for when people talk about like a short-term medical plan, wellness, which people have access to great wellness, but again, we talk about billing. So with a short-term medical plan, it's going to get billed with a network discount, assuming that the provider's in network, but it's going to go towards your deductible. But you got to remember, people a lot of time when they're coming off a plan that it includes wellness, it's kind of like a little bit of a challenge sometimes. It's like, no wellness? Well, it does offer wellness. It's how it gets billed. But if somebody has more of a greater need for more wellness services, that's where the Wellness 360 product can come in and offer more of a more intense level of wellness. So you'll learn that product. One of the nice things about it is for adults over the age of 50, it covers a colonoscopy 100% once every 5 years. So where I sell a wellness plan too, and again, I'm always trying to look out for the person. And I might say, if you don't expect to have $1,800 of wellness expenses over the course of a year, which would be the $149 monthly premium for an individual times 12, $1,800 about. That's how I try to explain it to them. So if they do plan to get a colonoscopy, then a Wellness 360 plan could make sense for them. But again, you'll learn that. That's why once you get contracted with it. And then finally, Mutual of Omaha, not mandatory right away. With Mutual of Omaha, really well-respected name, but you'll be able to sell Medicare supplement plans. So again, I focus on the under 65 market. That's what I do. Doesn't mean that you have to focus on under 65, but it's the path that I've chosen. But I can tell you, Medicare is really growing with HST. We have our own Medicare division within HST, great resources. So again, your path of what you want to choose. But I have focused on the under 65 crowd. But again, with Mutual of Omaha, you can sell Medicare supplement, and I have some Medicare supplement clients. And they're great to add on your books. They stay on there monthly, bang, 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 bang. And it's great. And that's one of the reasons why people like selling Medicare too. It's kind of good long term. So you got to choose it. But again, I do want you to get contracted with Mutual of Omaha. But those are the 5 carriers that I would recommend you get started with. Blank everything else out. I mean, and 98% of my business is through United Healthcare and National General. And another thing that's great about it is when you start producing the carrier contests from the most recent United Healthcare carrier bonus, seriously, I'm going to earn about $8,000 from I'm talking contests. I mean, they call it what you want, their promotion. And they got a new one starting now. So, I mean, you can make a lot of extra money just on through the carrier bonuses. you know, there's some people in the company, they focus on a certain carrier and they go to Rio de Janeiro, and you know, they got a lot of really good stuff. So to be let back in the room. If somebody is trying to get back in the room, okay. All right, good. All right. Okay. Hey, Alista, thanks for joining. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so those are the 5 carriers that I suggest you get contracted with. And then you're going to hear me talk about a little term I like to use is to make sure you fish in the right pond, okay? Fish in the right pond. But initially, I want you to, this is, again, you can do whatever you want here, but I'm trying to get you very focused here. These are the states that I recommend you get licensed in initially. And it doesn't mean you got to get licensed in all of them. I'm a Florida resident, and it was easy for me to get licensed in Florida. I understand Florida now, being a non-resident, I think they make you get fingerprints, where like to get licensed in states, it's a piece of cake. I mean, like it's administrative through NIPR. Anyway, NIPR.com. But these are the states, and I mean, like you could get licensed. You just go on NIPR, and you'll have your license number, and you just put it in there. There's a little bit of a fee. It's going to cost you money, so that could be, you know, a stopgap. I think Ohio's only $20 to get a non-resident license in Ohio, so that should be a layup for you. But those are the states right there. I'm trying to put it in front of you. These are the 7 states initially that I would recommend you get licensed in. Certainly, your home state should work if you're in, you know, if you're in a good state. And I'll talk about what I consider a good state here. But if you want to add some additional states, I would go South Carolina, Kentucky, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, West Virginia. In general, you'll definitely notice a correlation between, from a political point of view, whether they're red or blue states. Like, you know, you're not going to get contracted in California or New York or New Jersey, Rhode Island, places like that. Well, that's okay. Because with all that said, one of the things I want to say to you, and you'll hear me use this term all the time, fish in the right pond. Fish in the right pond, okay? You don't want to go fishing where there's no fish. You want to fish where there's a lot of fish, okay? And these are the states with the products, and you're going to match it up. And again, we're going to talk here a little bit about who you talk on. But this this little diagram here, you'll see this. This is documents that you see in LeadMaster. I can see, you know, this is one of the PDFs. But really what you're looking there in that document, and it's all self-explanatory, but it's basically that column with the green rings. You'll see there in the legend, if, you know, I know it's kind of hard on the screen, but it's ability to purchase consecutive plans with like no restrictions. And it's funny, like some of these states, which some are no-sell states, but then you got states that have these quirky, like rewrite things in there that like you got to wait 40 days before you get contracted, before you write a plan again. I mean, that's, again, you're not fishing in the right pond in those states, okay? Like Michigan, I have a client in Michigan. It's a 6-month state, and he's on a short-term medical plan, and that's the limitation. If you look at Michigan, MI, 6 months, if you see on that screen. That's why I don't have Michigan listed. But like with Michigan, I sell this gentleman I sell him a NatGen 6 months, and then United Healthcare 6 months, and then NatGen 6 months. You know, I mean, it's like crazy, but that's where he lives. Okay, that's where he lives. And he's best on a short-term medical plan. It's what he wants. I got a big accident policy with him, which that doesn't end. But again, learn about the states, learn about the term fishing in the right pond. So that's what I'm trying to teach you here, folks. Fishing in the right pond, okay? You're going to increase your odds. And this is all being recorded, by the way. I'm going to put this out. But again, those are the states. You could start with those 7, 3, you know, but definitely try to get Florida and Texas. Texas is a great state. A lot of options. You know, Arizona is really, really competitive with United Healthcare. One of the nice things about Arizona is that the time zone. And D, also you live in Utah. I didn't mention Utah. I should have added Utah. I know you're already there, but Utah's a good state. Utah's a good state. If you look at the grid there, like they don't have the actually, Utah's a great state. I don't know why I didn't list it here, but probably because it was mountain time. But I would add Utah to the list to add as well. And again, the advantage there, depending on your own personal schedule and your time zone, Utah and Arizona, you've got the mountain time, and with Arizona, sometimes Pacific time, because they don't really go between daylight and standard time. But
Right.
I would add Utah to that list as well. All right. So with that said, I kind of talk about, I really talk about the empowerment side of it based on being contracted and being licensed. Because once you get that in place, you're empowered. I mean, you're contracted, you're licensed, you're in the States, you can write business. Okay? So that's really the key right there from that standpoint. And I think somebody, let me see if I can mute, because I do get a little feedback here. How do you mute this thing here for everybody? I don't know if I can. I have to learn. Anyway, so if you can, mute your phones if you could, because I hear a little feedback from somebody at least. So as far as a couple tools here, and I'll show you this. We can go into this after I present to you. But number one, learn to use your Lead Master from HST. That is your main portal, Lead Master. You all should have gotten an email from Adriana Rock, and make sure you're following your emails in your new HST email, okay? Because when you got started, you didn't have an HST email, so you were getting information sent to that. But make sure then that you start using your HST email, okay? And that's where these emails are coming to. So, because in your contracting process and all that, you got assigned it, and look for that email. But you need to know Lead Master, okay? And then what I've shown there, Lead Master, are some of the pieces of Lead Master. So, for instance, here, let me show my screen here. Like here's the Lead Master, okay? And let me I guess see here. Let me get the annotation out. One sec there. Trying to get the annotation out here. Sorry, folks. Here we go. So here with Lead Master, here's some main areas. You can see Lead Master on my screen now, right? No?
No, not yet.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me see here. Thanks. Let me see here. It's the share screen share. Let's see here. Okay, now you should see it.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Lead Master. So just make sure this is your main portal. Okay, this is your main portal. And Carla, you don't have it yet. You know what I mean?
It reminds me of when I did real estate.
What's that?
It reminds me of when I did real estate, my lead board there.
Yeah, and you will soon. You will soon. But I mean, this is the main portal. Okay, this is the main portal. And so on the left side here, is where you have, kind of it's very kind of intuitive section here. Like one of the main areas here, look under HST Library. Click on there. And every week, if you look here in the upper right, where they have the top 10 most recent files, and like here, Monday 2/8. And if you look under here, there was a Monday 2/1. These are the meeting files. So I always click on that every week. And sometimes I attend it live, which is fun. But sometimes, I don't really have the time for that. But every week religiously, I go through it. And here, I'll give you, this is the most recent file. And you're going to find that every week it's consistent, the way it's laid out. It's kind of like you're in a meeting. I mean, it's what it is, meeting notes. And really well done. And even when you attend live now, they do a great job. They really do. They get music and they get hype. And, it's kind of like the recognition and information, education, motivation, kind of like my call center days. I used to be able to, the call center days was information, education, motivation, recognition. It was like in that order when I'd give a pre-shift to people. And that's really what it kind of is. And if you go through it here, this is, look, 100, this is 50 pages, but every week it's like in the same order. And it's just, this is your company that you're plugged into. A lot of good stuff here, folks. And I want to see you on this rookie report. Okay, they got rookies here. They really accentuate the rookies. Look at some of these rookies here in 1 week. 50 grand. Okay, I mean, you got people doing it. I don't want to brag, but my first week, I did 50 grand my first week. That was unbelievable. I didn't steal customers, but like for the one I was with before, I had prospects. So I was able to kind of I had some low hanging fruit, but I took advantage of it and I got them on better plans. But these are, look, rookies, 50 grand. Come on. It's awesome. So you got that, and it goes through top rookie sales. And look, I want to show you how well, and this is a great one here. It talks about where it talks about like what's popular. So like here is 92% of the apps are making money. This is what's making money, because people might sell like a ACA plan that doesn't get paid a lot. I think that's how they show that. I don't sell ACA plans personally. I'm all private. Keep it focused. To me, at times I think about getting certified, but it's a lot of red tape. I just keep it simple. Okay, but again, it's something you can do. I'm not saying you don't want to sell ACA plans, but again, this kind of shows you here the popularity here, like NatGen, 370 sales. This is for week ending. United Healthcare, and then it breaks it up into limited medical, the zero deductible, and then these are the ancillaries, your TriMeds, plan enhancers, accident plans, and then it goes your dental and vision, the group plans, the Medicare, life insurance. So, I mean, this is really good stuff to know. This is what's going on in the company. So just be plugged in. Look how our company's doing. We are kicking butt. This is 18% higher for the year than we were last year. Folks, I mean, you're on a great team that is doing fabulous. And they should, every week, you know, staying plugged in. This is motivating. First paid apps, applications, but it follows this all the time. It talks about the award celebration coming up. And, you know, a lot of it's with COVID. But here, commission team. A lot of you have questions on commissions. There's a PDF here that goes on commission PDFs. I mean, again, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. There's some now you're starting to hear more about Allstate that National General will be owned by soon. You know, and there's a team of people that have kind of like, they're going to do some Allstate if you want to do there. I haven't. The calendar talks about training here, next training. So you get the picture here with that. So that's the meeting notes. Like here's that commission FAQ here. Let's see here. All right, so you got the commission statements here, but that's with LeadMaster through the library. But you got documents you can go into through LeadMaster under the through the library here. Documents. You're not going to break it. Go in here, click around, and then another area you're going to want to look at is just like the leaderboard, current standings, and that's me for the year so far. And I'm proud I'm here. So you're talking some kind of like here, NAP year to date. That's what we don't, right here it's through November. And they're holding off on December for the awards banquet. But this is me for the year last year. So I'm the same. I want to train you this stuff. So you want to see your name up here. But hey, you know, in a business of numbers, this is a great way to measure how it's working for you. That's all I got to say. And also here, you go into your user settings. If you want to change your agent profile. Here, it's a little slower with Zoom here. But here's when you got the tabs here, my licenses. I'm in 30 states. Your carrier appointments, you know, your preferences. So you'll learn this stuff. You know, we want to get a Facebook plug, things like that. You know, but and you even could do email, text. I don't really use a lot of this because I have some of my own tools. Reports, library, calendar. The agent support center is really helpful. Okay, for support tickets for people. You get the picture. So you want to make sure that you're staying plugged in for your lead master. Okay, you want to make sure that you're staying plugged in. Let's see here. I want to get back to here. Okay, so you're back on my presentation. You see that? Okay. So that's lead master. You want to make sure you know that. So I want to make sure you take advantage of your training resources. There's a lot of training. So again, I really want to try to mentor you. And I'm just one person. I don't have the bandwidth to like get everybody the training that you can get through the company. But through the company, by just paying attention to the calendar for HST, you're also on the Compass Health Consultant calendar. You should be getting those emails. So you want to stay alert for your emails from HST and CHC to your HST email. Stay plugged in. You know, Joe Crivolo, the founder, the president of Compass Health, this guy is a maverick. I mean, he's been in the business 20 years. He's built a $100 million agency. Joe himself has training sessions that you can attend. So, I mean, I'm going to try to teach you the Jim Martelo style, but Joe Crivolo, and I mean, you got leadership available to you. And there's a correlation between folks who do well and attend the training and folks who don't attend the training. I will tell you, when I got started, I didn't attend any of this training. I didn't, okay? I just kind of jumped in, and I mean, I'm just pretty good with these tools. I didn't, okay? But I can only imagine if I had. But I got it. I mean, I understood it. I had been selling health insurance for about 11 months prior. It would help. But again, so I'm kind of saying I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here. But I mean, part of it is no one says you got to attend it, but at the same time, it's available to you. And if this is new to you, and if you're struggling and if you're not understanding things, but if you come to me and you're going to say, I don't know how to do this, and I'm like, okay, well, did you attend the training? And you say no. Well, what do you think my response to you is going to be? You know, I mean, I want to help you, but one of my first things is going to say, you need to attend this training. Okay. And it's there, ongoing. So attend it. Take advantage of it. Enough said. And then, not to overwhelm you, however, I want you all to learn about Top Broker. Okay. I want you to learn about Top Broker. You're going to get emails. So one thing, I guess like D just got set up on Top Broker. It was pretty, I mean, at least to get the information set to you, D, right? I sent an email from Tanya Mosley. She sent you the information, and now you have access to it. There's training videos for Top Broker, and it's a really, really good tool. So here, let me give you an example. Like I use it primarily for quoting. I mean, that's really where I primarily use it. And to give you an example, here is, you see that quote on your screen now?
Yes.
Are you seeing like a blue, green, orange, and gray?
Yes, 4 of them.
Yeah. So like here, this is a quote that you send out with an email. There's a link. It's a great tool. Really, really professional. You can click in here and even open up the brochures of the product. So it's available to you. So you can just send out some awesome quotes using Top Broker. But Top Broker in itself is a CRM. Top Broker is a CRM. And not to get too technical with you, but from a dialing perspective, Top Broker uses a one-to-one dialer. meaning it'll dial one number at a time from the database that you're using. It's a little too slow for me, folks, personally, and I'm going to show you a tool here in a second that's going to put you in a Porsche, okay? But again, these tool, I mean, Top Brokers are great. It's a great tool, but I use it primarily to do quotes, okay? Just so you know, that's primarily how I use it. But with that said, I use a tool called, and I now have virtual assistants who dial for me. And, you know, and again, I'm planning to, if I can kind of get the team up and running more, I'll hire more. And I'll just, you know, again, we can talk. If you're out there cranking and making it happen, the goal is, if you want to follow this path, is to have VAs working for you. I have 2 that are in the Philippines, and I treat them like gold. They're part of the team, and they are so happy to be working with me. I am a steady source of income for them and their family. I start them at $3.75 an hour. I pay them on PayPal, and they've done well. And I now pay them $5 an hour. And if they do and they do, you know, they're not the best leads they send me, but they're talking to people, and it's a process that works, and they put people on my calendar consistently. I had someone dialing from 9 to 2, and I have someone dialing now to 8 o'clock, and they call real estate agents. That's what I do. And I got tens of thousands of real estate agents I can share with you. Give them to you, no problem. So this tool here is called Prospect Boss. And again, we can talk later. There's a link I can send you, $79 a month. It'll dial up to 4 lines simultaneously. You won't be talking to more than one person at a time. But let me tell you, if you load this up with records, and again, I got tens of thousands of realtors that's what I call. They're self-employed. They again, fish in the right pond. Okay, fish in the right pond. You'll be talking to people all day. So if you want a quick way to get started, this is it. It's all virtual. You need a headset and a computer. That's it. You'll be talking to people all day. So we can talk about this later if you want to take advantage of it. But again, that's what I use, called Prospect. That's what they use. And I have one account, and I got one that uses it in the morning, and the other one uses it in the evening. Okay.
What's it called? Prospect what now?
Yeah, Prospect Boss.
Boss.
Yeah, here. And then let me, I'm going to put a link, and that's what it is. So if you go to, and I don't know if you have your chat feature open here, everybody, but here, if you look in your chat window, I sent the link. So, but again, we can talk more, but it's Prospect Boss, and I have the link. And in fact, I got a buying link here. The buying link, here, let me get it here, is here, I got it. So here's the link. So this is the promo link here that refers to, okay? I just sent it into text. And that's the $79 a month for it. And let me just tell you, folks, you know, I know you're getting started. You're looking to keep your expenses down. I get it. But let me tell you, if you start getting cranking, I'll work out something. I'll fund this for you, okay? I mean, it's a win-win situation. But this is so successful. It's so effective in using it. So you can drive in a Volkswagen or you can drive in a Porsche. Choice is up to you. You know, when I first started this business back in my U.S. Health days, I was on a cell phone. You know, that's what people write. You got a cell phone, you're dialing numbers. Oh, and that's pretty tough. Okay, I mean, people do that, but you're just not giving yourself the best odds. But again, it's a great tool that I use called Prospect Boss. Okay. So with that said, to take it a little deeper, stay focused on a vertical market and customize your presentation. Okay. So here, you know, I got this script. I can tell you, like, I focus on realtors. I have tens of thousands of records for contractors, painting contractors, carpenters. I got them. Or people who are just self-employed. There's a website called Sales Data Pro. Again, I don't want to get into too much detail because right now you don't have to be buying this stuff. I can share the records with you, okay? I'll show you how to load it. But it's putting you in a Porsche, smiling and dialing. But also knowing that you are calling real estate agents, you can customize your cold call into like a referral. One of my great analogies that I like to use, and I'm looking at the ages here, maybe you remember, I don't know, maybe you were born then, but in the 80s, there was a show called The Gong Show. You ever heard me give you this analogy? I love it. It's a great analogy. If you remember The Gong Show, it was a comedy show, half-hour show. It was almost kind of like an early day, like America's Got Talent, I guess. But there were 3 judges, and you'd have these amateurs come out, and they would try to dance and do their thing. And if they weren't good, they got gone. Okay? And but if they were good, they got to perform. And then at the end of the show, they picked a winner. It was all fun. Okay? But the whole analogy here for a cold call is you don't want to get gone. So that first 5-10 seconds of that presentation, it can be the difference of you getting gonged or not. Because people by nature want to hang up on you. I mean, because you're just, hey, you're a cold caller, you're a telemarketer. Okay, all right. But to me, this is the surest way to get leads, the cheapest way to get leads. And it takes some humping, but it's doable. And you might have heard me say throughout the day, no, 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 yes. No, 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 yes. No, no. You do that all day. How many yeses do you think you're going to get? I bet a lot. I bet maybe 7 to 10 if you're working it. You do that 5 days a week, you're going to get 35 to 50 warm. Now you got a warm lead, somebody that you've talked to that you okay, yeah, okay, I have a need. All right, and then they get into your funnel. We'll talk about sales funnels, but you want to put records in your funnel. And I'm going to show you a great tool here in a second. And I don't expect you to process all this today, folks. I don't. We're going to go back to getting contracted, okay? That's where you're going to get started. But again, and here's my presentation. Let's say I was calling D. Hey, D, this is Jim. And again, it's a cold call, okay? This is a cold call. I've never talked to D before. And I train my VAs to do this in 30 minutes, by the way. And they're good at it. And I don't expect too much out of them. All I'm looking for them to do is to get like some kind of, connection. That's what you're looking to do. You're looking to get that yes. Not yes to make a sale, but a yes, yeah, I'm interested in talking to you more. So again, knowing you're calling a real estate agent or knowing you're calling a plumber and even knowing you're calling a real estate agent in Florida, you can tailor that call to make it sound like a referral. As an example, let's say I'm calling a realtor in Florida. Hey, D, hi, this is Jim. I am a licensed health insurance advisor. I specialize in providing strong and affordable health coverage to real estate agents in Florida. And I'm just reaching out to you, D. I know you're a real estate agent, and I help a lot of your fellow real estate agents in Florida. I want to see what your situation is now to see if I can help you find better and more affordable health coverage. Boom. No, 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 no. Yes. Great. I'm telling you, folks, it happens. No, no. And you're going to laugh. And, success comes in cans, not cannots. I have been in sales and marketing since 1979. I've been in call centers, mostly outbound, during my career. I believe I'm a Simon Cowell when it comes to identifying outbound sales talent. It's inflection, it's enthusiasm, it's pace, it's confidence, it's having fun. I'm telling you, loosen up. If you got to, drink a little glass of wine to loosen up, whatever. I mean, just like, you know, you're not going to break it. You're not going to get hurt. You're trying to help people. And you could be one of the highest paid telemarketers in the country. Helping people. So I'm just saying, that in itself is what this is about. Hey, Dee, my name's Jim. I'm a licensed health insurance advisor. I specialize in helping real estate agents here in Florida finding the best health coverage for their needs and budget. Just wanted to reach out to see what your situation is. Am I getting you at a good time? Because
Yes.
like my goal when I'm calling somebody is not to sell them something. I do not want to be a salesperson. I want to be an advisor. I tell people, I tell people this. I don't write plans. I build clients. I help my clients. And it goes on to my brand. My tagline is always available. Again, I had a lady, a realtor, new client called me last night at 9:15. I was available. Okay? But again, that's my brand. That's me. That's me. I work from home. I'm blessed as far as I'm concerned. But that's, you know what I mean? So you're kind of getting it here. Keep it simple. I call real estate agents. I focus on short-term medical and indemnity plans. I balance coverage, day-to-day needs. I balance the protection at money. And, you know, I just kind of talk to them. I try to make it a conversation, not a sales pitch. When I call somebody, as opposed to other people, like when I first got trained from U.S. Health Advisors, and they were great in training me, but they were going for the first call close. First call close. I don't know. I've done some YouTube videos. To me, a first call close is horrible. I mean, if they want to do it, sure, no problem. But I'm not looking for a first call close. I'm looking to connect with them. I'm looking to be that person that can help them. And because I'm not like, because I'm secure in what I'm doing, which you don't feel that way initially, I get it. Fake it till you make it. But my whole manner is not to be this like rabid, I got to make a sale now. You got to buy now. Go away with that. I want to help you. And you really need to be sincere about that. And initially, when I make contact with someone, especially a real estate agent who could be showing a home, I show respect. Hey, am I getting you at a good time? I know you're busy. I wanted to make contact with you to see if I could help you with health coverage. It's that simple. No, right? Yes.
Hey,
But
Jim.
again, the whole way that you've gotten started with them is in a professional way. You want to be that advisor, okay? So again, that's kind of like a little script I can help you with. Customize it, mainly by knowing who you're calling, knowing where you're calling, and putting that together to not make it a cold call, but to make it a referral call.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah.
So when you're making all these calls, and I'm glad you clarified that it wasn't a one call close. That's a relief. I think they talked about that a little bit in the training as well. But are you typing or writing notes as you're talking in the CRM?
Well, kind of, but you know, I have a little notepad, and I'm just kind of writing stuff down here. I have a little notepad, and then later I use Radius, by the way, and I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, I am making some notes as well, and you know, and I'm saving quotes too, and when I do it. So yeah, and I mean, I do stay extremely organized through my Outlook program, CRM, but absolutely. But you know, it starts with this. I just got a bunch of chicken scratch here. I'm making my little notes, and that's what I use.
Okay.
But good question. So, and then with that said, learn how to present. And now we're getting into how I present a little bit. So, and again, I'm very, and I've been doing this a while now, so I guess it comes with, and I'm always trying to get better. Hey, I'm just a kind of a, you know, I'm one person. I'm not God's gift to salespeople, but I'm pretty good at it because I work it. I believe in it. I have confidence in what I'm selling. I have enthusiasm, and it comes across that way. I care. I show personality. And I theme it. And in fact, if you've ever gone to getaffordablehealthcoverage.com, okay, that I've kind of said, that's this, I have a presentation here. And it's a 4-minute presentation, because so go to getaffordablehealthcoverage.com. It's in my email signatures. But here, I theme it, or should I say, I use the term options based on realities. So I'm kind of putting it in front of them. It's options based on realities. Okay? Because, you know, health insurance isn't perfect. I don't care. They'll say, you know, guys, health insurance isn't perfect. But I can help you make it as good as possible. But I first want to let you know it's options based on realities. And that's how I theme it. And with that said, it's about balancing coverage, or should I say day-to-day needs, with protection and affordability, kind of like that spectrum there. And there's a balance that I look to portray. And basically, plans that have more coverage, more day-to-day needs, are going to be your limited medical plans, your zero deductible first dollar coverage plans. And you're mainly going to lead with United Healthcare's great plan. Protection is going to be a plan with a deductible that has a max out of pocket that you can then blend in the ancillary to basically, I can say, I can show you a plan that's going to cover you 100% if you get a critical illness. I can. That's how I present it. But again, protection, but then it comes at a price. And it's kind of like that, you know, here, the balance here between them. Okay. And that's really where I talk about in the theme. And again,
Jim, are you sharing
affordablehealthcoverage.com. What was that?
Are you sharing a different screen or just at a prospect boss?
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't. Okay. Thank you for saying that.
Yep.
I have 5 monitors, so I guess I get a. Here you go. Thank you for letting me know. Is it? You see that now?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize. I got out. So like here, that's where I was talking about how to present. So we were on So you didn't even see this screen, did you?
No, we didn't. You were on that same screen for a while.
Okay, we were on that screen. All right, because I moved around. So this is where the screen about, you know, staying on a vertical market, and this is the script. Thank you for letting me know.
No worries.
But that's the screen there, and there's the scripting. But again, I can send these things to you. Today's a presentation. As we get more in, we'll share these again. And I'm going to have this recorded. I haven't it recorded. Again, how to present options based on realities. And then the balance of coverage, protection, and budget. The plans for more coverage are your limited medical zero deductible plans. And I'm going to lead with United Healthcare. Plans for greater protection are your short-term medical plans that have a max out of pocket that I can blend in with ancillary coverage. And that's going to be leading with National General, will be your best pricing and affordability. And there's a correlation between a higher deductible, higher max out of pocket with a lower premium. But as you do that, you're going to have more upfront out of pocket risk if you have a larger claim. And that's where you can put in supplementary coverage that can then fill that gap for the larger expenses due to a larger claim that would initially go towards your deductible or max out of pocket. But I'll teach you this. And you'll learn it as you learn the products. But again, I want you to really learn 2 types of products: short-term medical and limited medical. Okay? I'm just saying, keep it simple. It's one or the other. You could blend them too if you want. I mean, you could. But again, a short-term medical plan will have a deductible, a max out of pocket, which is great. It gives you that cap, that ceiling. So if somebody gets $500,000 of bills, maybe due to a heart attack, well, I could show them a plan that, you know, would have ended up covering them 100% up to $1 million. So, and you can fill that gap with supplementary coverage. And National General offers some great, they call them ancillary. So National General offers some great plans for that as well. United Healthcare does as well, but you're going to find more options through National General. And you get paid better on these ancillary plans too, by the way, if you look at the commissions. You might have a commission rate of like 35, 36%, versus like you'll get started somewhere around maybe 16%. But as you produce, your commission levels will naturally increase to where you're going to get up to like, maybe 24%, something like that. But again, that happens. So I started out at the associate level, just like you guys are starting. And as you produce, it just grows. It grows. So it's a beautiful business. You can grow your business every day. Okay, and with that said, changing gears here, I can go on and on and on with this, but I use a tool called Radius. I use a tool called Radius for my CRM. And here, let me put the wait a minute. Let me put the I'm gonna put the link here. Wait a minute. Let's try to find it. Radius. It's radiusbob.com. So here is the link in the chat message for Radius. All right. So radiusbob, radiusbob.com. And that's my main CRM that I use. And the thing I really enjoy about it is it's not that expensive for starters. You can get like without the they have it like they have one with a dialer, but it's a one-to-one dialer that I do recommend. But without it, it's $40. With it, it's $80 a month. But it gives you sales automation. It's got a lot of features. I can go on and on. I've got some YouTube videos how to use it, but it's a great tool. It's a CRM, but always keep your records in electronic format. So everything I have is electronic. It's all files and so forth. But you can create workflows. So like a workflow could be a text, could be a workflow. Like, I could create a tag and it'll send them a text. I can create a status or a text and it can give series of commands. So like when I make a sale and in my Radius, they were listed as leads, with the push of a button, I convert them to clients. So they have kind of like two sides to it, leads and clients. So now in my Radius, they're under clients, but I create a workflow based on changing of a status. You'll learn these, it's not hard. And then that workflow sends them out messages through text and email over the next 6 months if I want. I've got an email and text going out in like 4 weeks to people automatically. Hey, did you get your card in the mail? I mean, it's great. I'm staying in touch with people, all automated. I got one 6 weeks later saying, hey, if I've earned your trust, I would appreciate referrals. Let me help other people. And it's all with a status. And I've created a workflow. So I can create a workflow that is a single text. I can create a workflow that sends out 15 emails over the next 9 months. It'll just set it up. I create a workflow that sends them a text now, a text in 3 days, a text in 7 days, a text in 14 days, whatever you want. There's all types of stuff you can do with Radius to create workflow. And so like even now, like when I get renewals, as an example, I got a client that the clients whose short-term medical plans are coming up for renewal, I create the status that I called it needs renewal. So I just changed the status, and now those folks get a message like, hey, your policy's coming up for renewal. Let's stay in touch. And it's all part of my process with the push of a button. And then I put it on my calendar, and I will tell you, I have they call it, what's they call it? Persistency is the term they say. I have a very, very high persistency, meaning that I have very good repeat business. And this helps. So I get a lot of my businesses on renewals. So I use Radius for that as well. and just using like workflows and then statuses, tags. There's some things I can help you with that. And there's training and so forth. I've even got a YouTube video that I've created that you can watch. I go in, it's like a 34-minute video on Radius. But I highly recommend that you get them on situated with Radius. Great tool. You're not going to hear about this through the normal CHC, HST training, but it's, and it's a CRM that's kind of built for insurance agents, they say, but you could really use it for any business, the way it's set up. But I just, great, and great support, very, very cutting edge company. Highly recommend it. You can use it for sales automation. Yeah, Lisa.
What did you say? $1 means?
Oh, well, $1 is like versus Prospect Boss. That's actually you could do a 4-to-1, meaning like it could dial 4 records simultaneously. You'll only talk to one person. Where on Radius, it's only going to dial, it's like a power dialer. It's only going to dial 1 record at a time. But where I use Radius is like my VAs, when they're creating leads, they have a lead form. When my VAs, they're on Prospect Boss, and when they find a yes, they're then using a lead form I have that they put it, and it goes right into my Radius. And I have a workflow set up that based on their input is sending people texts and emails without me even touching the record. But then what I'll do is within Radius, I can create call queues. So I can go in and say like the records that were created last week. I can then, it could be like 50 records, new leads or whatever. And then I can queue them up. And it'll dial them. I can go one at a time dialing those records. That's what I mean by a 1-to-1 dialer. So Prospect Boss, I hate to use this term, but it's like a machine gun, where Radius is like a pistol, as far as shooting out the records. Okay, so Prospect Boss is like it can just get those records out dialing. Where Radius, when you get more of a warm lead, to me, it's like a warm lead. That's when I'm using it. And again, I try to distinguish a record versus kind of of an initial, kind of moderately warm, then warm, hotly, whatever you want to call it. But as you have a sales funnel, wider at the top, narrow at the bottom, sales funnel, you work it. So, initially get it in the funnel. So somebody gave you a yes, okay? And now I'm sending them an email, I'm sending them a text. I create videos too. I might have a link in my emails, whatever, some of the stuff works if they even read it, okay? And if they even read it, you got to make calls. You got to, that's what it takes. But if they do it, it doesn't hurt. And I've got enough in my Radius now that I can send out, like through Radius. They also have a bulk email I can send out to, I could send out emails to like 8,000 people with a push of a couple buttons. And that email might have a YouTube video link that I created. And I get a lot of, I get a lot of from that. But again, I've been at this now several years and I have it. But again, a lot of these records I'm going to share with you guys. So really, I don't have a problem just giving you records. I don't, hey, we're all in this together. So seriously, working with me, you're going to have access to a lot of stuff. I just need for you to take advantage of it. But with Radius, you can do a lot with it. If you know what an autoresponder is, if you kind of know that term from an email, it's got an autoresponder on it. So marketing automation, sales automation, you can stay extremely organized. And I am very, very organized. Let me tell you, I am. Just like using my Outlook with Microsoft Office, I create rules. So when I send out a quote, it gets stored right in a certain folder in my Outlook. And now somebody might call me or I'm calling somebody. I can go right to that, bring up the quote, boom, I'm on top of it right away. So staying organized in this business is very key. It can overwhelm people. And that's why sometimes this business isn't for everybody. But it does help to be organized. And then it's effortless once you kind of get the tools down and let the automation work for you. for the tools. So again, working in Radius, you can, initially you could import records. Happy to share 10,000 Realtor records with you folks. Not a problem, okay? Load them in Radius, and then, you can import records there, status tags, automated workflows. You'll create email content, and then you can implement it. Just set off the automation. Different ways. So it's important to understand it, let it click, and you can build workflows. So I can help you with this, but I highly recommend that you invest time in learning about Radius, and I can help you. It's worth it. And I have invested time and energy in Radius, and I can certainly share a lot of that with you. But it's just a fabulous tool, and it's not that expensive at all. And again, here's another thing that I do. I use a Google Calendar. And here, I'll show you my calendar here. Let's see if I can. I'm going to show you my calendar here. Let's see, which one is it here? Where's my Google Calendar here? Screen 1. So here's my Google Calendar. Do you see it?
Yes.
So this is my Google Calendar. See all these booked here? That actually comes from my VAs, actually. Now, they use a tool called youcanbook.me, which is, youcanbook.me. Anyway, and I can share this, but they then put this on my calendar under booked. So I haven't gotten to, I've been kind of busy all this stuff, but these are people I'll call. And like here, these people are in my Radius, by the way. So these are in my Radius here. So I can put that number there. I don't know if you can see my Radius. Do you see Radius now?
Yes, are you trying to dial number or search?
Yeah, so you see here, like that's from my calendar, but that phone number, they put this in a lead form. You see Jackson Tomaszewski there?
Yes.
I don't know that.
Yes.
And so that's Radius, and I could just click that button, it'll dial. But that's like, it goes here. So on my calendar here, that's how it is. But you notice on my calendar, and I'll get back to the presentation here, in that I put little, I edit it. So I added it later in the header. And, FU is follow-up, call. These are my own thing. I just keep it simple, but I put little markers in there. So like sign. So I'll go to a, I'll give you an example here. Here, hang tight. So do you see my Google Calendar now?
Yes.
Or are you still
Yes,
seeing
it's-
the presentation?
No, it's Google Calendar.
Okay, so here, like if you notice here, like in this one here, I got FU sign. I put that in there. So if you just click on it, and you can edit it and then save it. But that means something to me. So again, this you can just use your own terms. But a follow-up sign means I got to work on them. They're not kind of like ready to sign, kind of like follow-up. But what I'll do is like I start my day with a Control F. You can just Control F. And here, sign, you put in sign, and you notice here on my screen, they highlight. So I have a pretty healthy sales funnel, but I start my day, I use the term reverse engineering. Remember I said I'm very consistent? Because I start my day, and again, I've been at this a while. You won't be here yet. But I start my day saying, who can I write today? So by updating my Google Calendar, and I put these little sign or FU, follow-up or call, that's telling me right here, like Haley Lou, I'm going to call her. I mean, I've got history with her. Here, referral. Let's say I had referrals. See how it marks the referral with the control left? It's all free. And if I want to move it around, I can just move this around to the time. But that's how I use Google Calendar. Free. Okay? Free.
Yeah, that's the
Get back
first
to the-
thing you mentioned today.
What's that?
I think that's the first free thing you've mentioned today.
Well, actually, but everything I mentioned is really inexpensive. But again, Lead Master's free, Top Broker's $25. But yeah, but again, you know, free to, you know, you might spend $150 a month to make $150,000 a year. So that's the way you got to look at it. You know, more states you get contracted in, licensed in. Like I'm in 30 states. So I will tell you, when I got started in this business from day one, I put down a credit card, $3,400 when I was with US Health, and I got licensed in 30 states, and I never looked back. But I was able to do it. But again, that's using your Google Calendar. And I'm going to kind of end it here with questions. We've had questions, but you know, again, we go back into where we started here, and that is keep it simple. Remember, we talk about here, keep it simple, stay focused, create a winning process, repeat and grow, stay consistent. And I do that by, again, keeping it simple, staying focused. Two main carriers, National General, United Healthcare. Two main kind of products, short-term medical and limited medical. Offering people a balance of coverage or your day-to-day needs and protection at an affordable price. What's to them? It's all relative. What's affordable? Talk to somebody and it's like, well, you know, I can't afford more than $150 a month. Well, right there, it's probably going to mean a low price limited medical plan. Remember, it's options based on realities. And if one of the realities is they can't spend more than $150 a month on health insurance, well, their options are either being self-insured, which means no insurance, or some insurance, right? Network discount, first dollar coverage for $150. And they're, you know, they got their foot in the door. But your goal should be to help them find the best coverage for the money. And being with these products, National General, United Healthcare, you're going to be able to offer a lot of options to people, especially if you are fishing in the right pond. And that's based on being in the right states and calling the right people. Nothing personal here, right? You're trying to connect with folks who you can best help. So fish in the right pond. Be consistent. Get to know the products. You don't have to be a rocket science. You really don't. You got plans with deductibles. You got plans without deductibles. You know, at least those are great states. Those are great states. So, you know, we've been on this now about an hour and 10 minutes, pretty long. We're going to have another one Thursday at the same time. I want to, you know, we'll elaborate. So I want this to be ongoing. And remember, I'm here to try to mentor you and give you a little bit of my secret sauce. That's what I'm trying to do, is give you some of my secret sauce. But part of that secret sauce is also educating you on all the other resources that are available to you. So you have to stay plugged in via your email. Lead Master, you're getting it. You should be getting those emails from HST. You should be getting the emails from, and Carla, you're not yet, but you will. You will. But you got me in the meantime. And I know you're going to be a superstar. You're here, and I just know it. And everyone on this call, I have such great anticipation for. The fact that you are here means a lot to me. Because, you know, I'm only one person. I got a life. And, you know, I don't really want to try to go overboard to help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. But if you help yourself, I'm going to give you 150%. because I feel blessed to be doing what I'm doing. I really do. My God, if you look back at my life, I mean, I've had a good life. I'm 63 years old. I still got fire in my belly. I'm 63 going on 25 as far as I'm concerned. But, it's just the thought of that inspires me because, like, hey, I got to push myself. And I like pushing myself. And I hope you like pushing yourself the same way because it's inspiring. And, that's the kind of way I look at life. Life is not always a ball of cherries, right? I mean, we've all had trials and tribulations, and that's not what this call is about. But, let's face it, you got to kind of hump for yourself and do your best. But when you try, people are going to try harder for you as well. Because you first got to, like, your only limit is you. It really is. But you are in the right spot at the right time on the right team. And I hope that I can help you achieve all of your goals. I do, when it comes to this. And when it comes to this, I think I'm pretty good at this. And I hope that some of what I can share with you will rub off. Because, don't ask me to fix a car, but I can help you sell health insurance. And I can help you sell it in a way that your clients are going to like you. They're going to give you referrals because I really do help people. I leave a lot of money on the table. I do. I don't try to jack up prices. I think about them and I try to put my feet in their shoes and I show no disrespect. I start with respect. Like when I first make connection with them, hey, am I getting you at a good time? I'm just not starting that call trying to sell them something. My goal is to make contact with them. That's it. And if it's more, great. And if I have limited time, I get their zip code, date of birth. That's all you got to get. Zip code, date of birth, and email. That's all you got to get. Okay, really. That's all you got to get. And you work up a quote. Send it to them. Follow up. And later, we'll talk about closing. Because, when it comes to closing, you want to go through the process of answering questions. Just so you know, you got to answer their questions. If they don't ask you any questions, there's a problem. So invite the questions. But usually I find I kind of have a 5-question kind of, not limit, but after 5 questions, then, it's like, okay, they've asked 5 questions, human nature, they're kind of done asking questions. And then it might say like, hey, like the word I use, are you comfortable with this price? Do you think it can work for you? How do you feel about it? I'm trying to get a little feeling here. How do you feel about this? Are you comfortable with it? I'm trying to get like a little bite. Yeah, I'm comfortable. Great. I'll tell you, if you want to go to the next step, it's a really easy process. I can help you all the way. And I'll talk about that because I take control. I have people that send out the quotes and they hope they get back to them. No. Every single app that I do is a broker assisted app. So, everyone that I do. Now, it doesn't have to be, but people invite it because I make it easy for them. And I'm really good about it. And I'm making sure it's done right. And I follow up on the back end. And I stay available. I let them know. I'll let them know 10 times before we're done the presentation that I'm available to them 7 days a week. And for the amount that you might think that could do to your life versus what it does to promote your brand, it makes no comparison, believe me. I was that way in the corporate world. When I was paid a salary, I would let people know, you need to reach me on time, you go. And I'm going to tell you, that's your brand. And so that's just me. We'll talk about that. Yes, ma'am. Elisa.
What is the turnaround time for getting paid after you submit apps with the health?
Well, number one, you got to look at the effective date. Okay, the effective date, but because that's where you're not going to get paid before the effective date. Okay. But usually like 2 to 3 weeks, if not sooner.
Ah, gotcha.
If not sooner, I find that United Healthcare takes a little longer than that, Jen.
Yeah, but not 2 days or anything like that.
Yeah.
So in weeks.
But you get paid weekly. You also get paid monthly on the renewals.
Okay.
But I would say 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
And also in your back office, you can follow it.
And
But again,
is that just to begin with the first app does that, or is that would be ongoing 2 to 3
I think
months?
ongoing. I mean,
So you got to
but let me
keep.
tell you, it works. I get paid a lot from them. So, and I will tell you personally, I really don't. I probably could do it more. I don't really worry so much about getting paid as much as, and even when I got started, I'm working about submitting that's where my money, that's where my focus is. And because, I mean, you do want to keep track of it, but I think sometimes people become obsessed with it and it hurts their, it kind of hurts their momentum. I mean, you do want to keep track of it, but you don't want to over worry about it. Have faith that you're going to get paid, especially if it's submitted correctly. I mean, I was saying a lot of times people submitted it wrong or whatever, but in your back office, like with United Healthcare, you'll see it go from submitted to active in your back office. And we'll talk about that in the future ones in your back office. I want to try to help you make sales. But yeah, like 2 to 3 weeks, it should be. Something like that.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
So what else you got? Mark, you got anything? Okay, D, you good?
Yes.
Yeah, I know you had a question with Top Broker earlier in the week, but Tanya sent you that information to get you set up.
Yes, and I was able to take care of that today.
So, but remember, this is an ongoing. We'll see how these. As long as you attend, I'm going to have these. I'm just trying to offer something broadly. I know this has helped. It's got to help. Just giving you some time and focus here. But again, and this will be recorded and it'll be put out there. But again, keep it simple, stay focused, create a winning process, repeat it and grow, stay consistent. Okay. And again, consistency is the key, at least in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the same
I would
the way
agree.
the way I operate. And it's worked. And
yeah,
it's been good.
Hey, Jim, are you going to help us close our first couple if we have some personal warm leads?
What's that?
Are you going to help us close our first ones?
Oh, absolutely.
Warm leads? Because I have
Sure.
a couple just waiting for me to get with them. A couple.
Yeah,
people.
well, the main thing is I need for you guys to be able to have contracted. So you can bring up so you literally can go in and write, so you can, you know what I mean? And we'll talk about that next week. And the next one, I'll go into like my NatGen tool. But I need for you to have access to it. You know what I mean? I need for you to have that, and you got to look for the emails that come to you with your broker link, a link for your quoting link that's standard with carriers, so you can log in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I mean. I need for you to get there to get contracted. And I'll help you write a quote. I'll help you to create a quote, even if you don't use Top Broker. And there's ways to do it. Just do a screenshot, whatever it takes. You can even send the quotes from NatGen, or you can send quotes directly from United Healthcare as well. You can send it directly from the tool, by the way. It's not quite as fancy, but you can do that.
Okay.
But
I just wanted to say something, and I have utilized Jim a lot. I actually text him quite a bit and bug him, and he always answers, and he has emailed me quotes directly to me and the customer. So he's a very good resource.
Yeah, thank you,
Jim.
Yeah, I mean, we're in this together. I mean, your success is my success. It is. And so now I'm putting more focus on building a team. But I really do enjoy producing. And I think that's one thing that I like to think will make me unique versus other, quote, leaders. I hate that term. Well, I guess leader's a good term, I guess. But people that have people in their team. And there's a lot of folks here, that's really all they do is recruit. And that could be something in your future that you'll want to do, to build a hierarchy under you. And then you get the overrides. Okay. Like Joe Crivolo's got, he's got $100 million agency. He didn't start with $100 million. But that is a career path that you can follow as well. And you'll get that override. So like you come in, and if you're making 16%, and if I'm getting 25%, well, I'm getting 9%. So work me. You know what I mean? And then one day though, you'll get up to 23% and I won't make as much on you, but then I want you to be making money for people under you that you've helped to grow. And that's part of our business. It's just a high, you know, we're a brokerage hierarchy and it's one of the beauties of our business to grow your business as well. So, all right. Are we good for now? So thank you for participating. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. But again, we'll have another one of these Thursday at 3:30 Eastern, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
Jim.
Talk to you soon, folks. Take care.
Thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye.